Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of East Louisville. If you can find your way down to your seats, and those of us viewing at home, get that last cup of coffee. We'll get started here with a morning prayer, and we have so much to be grateful for today. Louisville had a lot of rain, but we were spared some of the really bad winds that came from the hurricanes. We say a prayer for the people in Florida, to Georgia, all up through the Carolinas that were affected by the hurricane. We also keep in mind the folks in Alaska who also had a hurricane that we didn't hear about on our news, and also the people in Cancun yesterday of Hurricane Juan that went through there. So it's been an active weather year, but we can hold these people in our hearts and in our prayers for quick recovery, for those who lost people, for those who were injured. But most of all, be grateful that we're here today as a community. No matter what the weather brings, this community gathers every Sunday with hopes and prayers for a beautiful week, for great friendships, and most of all, to count our blessings. And the more blessings are counted together, the bigger they become and more energy there is. Because we teach here, your thoughts are prayers, and we're always praying. And have a beautiful Sunday morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave, and good morning, everybody. Are we ready to stand up and sing? Let's sing loudly like there are 100 people in the room. Starting with a new song next week. Now we're going to say our mission statement together like we mean it. We are a spiritual community inspiring transformation through love, joy, and integrity. Thank you, and please be seated. Well, good morning and welcome to Unity of East Louisville, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. If you're new today, we welcome you, and if you have any questions, please let our usher greeters know back there in the back, and they will bring you a welcome packet or answer any questions you might have. And welcome to anybody who's out there online watching us for the first time, or maybe not for the first time. We hope you'll join us in person sometime, because it's such a wonderful, warm, and loving environment. I have to say, before we get started, I was just seeing on the news this morning how devastated parts of western North Carolina are, and I know a lot of us have traveled through that area near Asheville and other parts of the state, and it's just so devastating. So we definitely need to keep them in our thoughts this morning and send them some loving energy for healing and rebuilding, because they've really gone through a lot. It's funny, when you think you're on the coastline down in Florida, you're going to get hit by a hurricane at some point. But when you're in the mountains of North Carolina, somehow maybe you don't think of it hitting you quite the same way. So it's pretty destructive and scary for them. If you haven't already, please turn your cell phones off. And then today is our Hope and Compassion collection, the last Sunday of the month, where we collect for our 3 charities, which are Numinous, the organization that helped us do the meditation for reducing violence and crime in the city, and also Eastern Area Community Ministries, which houses the food bank, and they do so much more than just provide food for local area families. They also help with rent assistance and maybe things like utility payments and just general counseling. I know Suzanne works for the St. Matthews Area Community Ministries, and she does the same thing, so she knows all about how much they help people. So they really, really appreciate our donations, so thank you in advance for donating to them. And also Maryhurst, I was privileged enough to have lunch with some of the ladies who work at Maryhurst, and they really appreciate it and wanted you to know how much they appreciate our donations, which go to help those girls who are greatly in need of the security and the love and the comfort that they were provided with at Maryhurst. So thank you in advance. That collection will be after our regular collection basket goes through. Then we'll walk up and donate into this basket. And we did that separately so that we just have that meaning that goes behind donating to the separate charities. And if you're writing a check, be sure to put Hope and Compassion in the memo line, please. Or if you're doing it online or with a credit card or anything like that, just designate it for Hope and Compassion, if you would, please. Okay, the community meeting is coming up on October 20th. And that's going to be, we're going to have a potluck before the meeting, so stick around and share some food and eat, and then talk, ask questions, learn whatever you need to learn from the board or from Valerie, bring your ideas. If you looked on the weekly email, when I glanced at it, when I was looking yesterday on the weekly news email, it looked like it said October 28th, but that's just a funny font that made it look like an 8, so I don't want anybody to get confused and think it said October 28th, which is what I thought when I saw it. So it's definitely October 20th. And the other thing on the weekly email is that Don's band is playing on that day too, but we want you to stay here, do the potluck first, and the community meeting, and then go to see Don's band play after that. Okay? Making sure you got that on your schedules. The t-shirts are in, and I've been trying to get them separated for anybody who ordered any that hasn't gotten them yet. See me after the service, and we'll go through the box and find what you ordered. I think they look fantastic. We have a beautiful array of colors, and we're going to just look great when we're out and about in the community wearing our t-shirts that say Unity. Crystal Bowls, the next meditation is October 18th. That's a Friday. The Reiki has been rescheduled because of the weather Friday night. We didn't want people out and about with tree limbs falling down on their heads, so that's rescheduled to the 25th and 26th of October, same times as before. So again, go on your weekly email or the website to check all that. The women's lunch had to be canceled also on Friday, so they'll just continue on with the last Friday in October, and that news will be coming later. Thanks to everybody who brought in Crosby donations. That donation is complete, and I will be dropping those things off for them this coming week. And Valerie is starting a membership class on October 13th, 27th, and November 3rd, correct? Right. At 12 to 12:45 on those dates. Are they all Sundays? So they're all Sundays, so you'll stay after church on those Sundays if you are interested in becoming a new member of this wonderful, wonderful organization. So I think that's it for our announcements. That's enough, right? Yeah. Everybody? Whew. Okay. A couple of dad jokes. That's all I've got for you today, so I hope they're just fantastic. Did you hear about the kidnapping at school? No. It's fine, he woke up. Why did the coffee file a police report? It got mugged. All right, and what's an astronaut's favorite part of a computer? These are so corny. The space bar. Greet each other in extra love and joy today. Lord help us.
Exactly.
Well, I didn't write it down. All right, let's sing some more, everybody. Only God can fill.
There's a place inside myself only God can fill. Ain't no God and nothing else. Only God can fill. There's no person, place, or thing. Only God can fill.
So the word for today is comforted. The affirmation is, I am comforted by the divine presence within me. I am grateful for the people who have understood how to comfort me when I was feeling down. They listened when I needed to talk and blessed me with their kindness. Often they didn't need to say a word or do anything more than be with me for a while. Their understanding presence was what I really needed. Even if I am without the comforting presence of another, I can find comfort in the divine presence within me. As I open my heart to God, I feel understood, loved, and accepted completely, just as I am. I need not feel self-conscious about needing comfort or how I express my feelings. I need only feel the unconditional love of God. As my trust in the divine presence grows, my sadness diminishes. Healing peace flows through my entire being as I am comforted. And the scripture for today is, as a mother comforts her child, so I will comfort you. You shall be comforted in Jerusalem. Isaiah 66:13. Again, the word for today is comfort.
is the love I am. As we light that Christ candle today, knowing that we are lighting that candle within us, that Christ consciousness is alive and awake. We are aware of that divine spark of life that is us and moves through us as love. And so now as we begin to move into this time of contemplation and relaxation and meditation, whatever word you want to give it, that connection with all that is. Connection with each other. That divine connection with humanity. Just let that seat beneath you hold you. Allow your feet to gently rest upon the floor. Knowing that you are safe in this holy space. In this divine community. And with each breath, relax and let go. Let go of whatever the sorrows, the guilt, the disbelief, the anxiety, and just the stress of the day. Let go of the worry. And be present right here, right now, to the healing opportunity. As we allow that divine energy that is all around us to flow in through the top of our head, through our heart, and gently move through us. Igniting that light to let it shine through all the darkness. Expanding through it, releasing all the darkness, all the thoughts. To be here. We feel the divine flow moving gently through us, knowing we are whole in every aspect of our life. No matter the outer appearances, we carry that wholeness as health, abundance, joy, vibrantly living. from a place of love. You radiate peace. And caring thoughts to all those in need in the world. Allowing for the opportunity of all burdens to be laid down. We rest in this place of love and the mighty power of the infinite wisdom of all that is in the silence. Now, as we take a gentle breath, begin to move our fingers and toes, we continue to allow that energy of love, that light to shine from within us outward. So we uphold all those beings everywhere who are suffering. Who are grieving. We hold them in compassion, with understanding. And know that during this week, when we turn to our prayers, we continue to hold the light of wholeness for all beings everywhere. That divine potential and opportunity to move through the challenges into that consciousness of joyful living. And so it is. Amen.
I apologize earlier, I forgot to mention we have a guest musician today that we haven't had before. John Beauchamp,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you for being here today. And thanks to everybody who made today's service possible, but we're welcoming John for the first time. Thank you.
I think we all pray and meditate about different things, and one of the things I'm praying for is that my body doesn't process what I've already had of this coffee too soon here. And it may be a miracle that we'll experience it. Thank you, Les Reynolds, for allowing me to come here. He's seen me perform before, so that he allows me to do this is a miracle. My dear wife Judy is sitting back there of 42 years. Just drove through the hurricane. Shopping with a bunch of ladies to buy quilts.
She's probably heard you perform too then, hasn't she?
I asked Les, I've actually been in this building 7 or 8 years ago when Lee Pennington was here and previewed the Mudmen of New Guinea. It's been some years ago. And I asked him, what should be the theme of the songs that you would like me to perform, any central theme? And the two songs I will perform are originals, and they're very important to me. And I understand the church as a general involvement of being aware of the dangers of gun violence in schools, on the streets. And I am a songwriter, and songwriters like to write stories, and I like to write story songs. And they have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And there's usually a message in the song, and there's a message in all my songs. They're important to me. Some of my friends have already performed here, prodigious musicians, Dave Evans, who was overcome with emotion, as I understand. Wonderful musician. Opened for Def Leppard. I guess you may not have known that, but in his young, wild days, he did the big show. Bill Clark, I've known for more than 45 years, did the first song I ever wrote that was done on stage back in Old Country Club a long time ago, 45 years. So the first song I'm going to do is a song that's very important to me. Back in 2012, there were 26 people murdered in Sandy Hook, New Jersey, at Sandy Hook Elementary. And I understand this is an issue that the church is dealing with on several levels. And I was very moved by that. And the main thing I try to do as a songwriter is to make people think. Don't try to pass judgment. Just want them to think maybe from a different perspective. It's a song called For Who We Are. Abby went to school. She doesn't anymore. Her mama said goodbye. She went out the door. She ran into a storm that took her life that day. A monster shot her dead. She was the one who paid for who we are, for what we are, for what we've let ourselves become. Another victim of a gun war. daddy's gun as he went out the door. The monster took control, who lived inside his head. A lawman's daily aim made sure they both were dead. For who we are, for what we are, for what we've let ourselves become. Another victim of a gun wound.
Thank you, John. That was beautiful.
I don't know, some days I have trouble with this thing. You know, as John's song said, tragic things happen every day in the world. And when we stand in our belief and are able to hold a higher watch as peace, it truly does shift the consciousness. It may not seem like it, but we know that it does. For the past 5 years, 4 years, we have been in this initiative of creating a peaceful life in our world. And we do that through our own beliefs, and then we do it through what unity teaches us, that everything starts within us, our beliefs. And when we can shift that and live from that within us, authentically and integrity as love and joy, it carries us through the dark days. It carries us through these storms and hurricanes because we all reach out to each other to help each other. When we really begin to see in a world where mental illness is taken seriously, and we really begin to help folks realize and support them in a loving way instead of looking at them as they're different. Because really, sometimes in our brains, the chemicalization, which we know in unity, we talk about the chemicalization in our brain, we get lost in the voices. And that is a tragedy. And when we recognize it as a society and we really start to work to prevent folks with mental illness
to be able to get a gun and put it in their hand, that's when we'll really start to change. You know, and at the World Building Peace Workshop that we did down at the Muhammad Ali Center at the beginning of September, one of the organizations that came takes guns off the street, melts them down, makes tools and jewelry. That is a genius way to deal with guns that have committed violent crimes. We're transforming them into something that is useful and good. It takes action from those that are in that like-minded state to make real change in our world. And it's not easy. And I know that playing the peace game may seem frivolous and annoying to have to be at this appointed time every Wednesday for 2 hours, to be with other people to talk about their experience of the week, of what they did with their value that week. And this week is faith, right? And so how do we stand in that faith when all of this chaos continues to erupt in our world? When we have bombs going off on a daily basis in Israel, Lebanon, Iraq, Iran, the whole Middle East. When we have young teenagers in the streets that think the best thing to do is to carry a gun and without any conscious thought shoot someone else. And I don't expect that everything that I do can shift all of that by itself. But what I do know is that together, when we join into that conscious realm, that higher realm, that mountain, that is that upper spiritual place of being, anything is possible. But it takes everybody to do the work. I know people that work in the West End with those who are in gangs, who are known to have guns, and they walk with them, hand in hand, to really find out what the need is that is missing in their life, so that they're able to give that gun away, to give it up, to be transformed. It happens right here in our city. There are people who go out on the street, and they stand out on the street, and they talk with these young adults, teenagers, young kids, and find out how they're doing, and what is it that they need. We have vast needs in our world for no reason other than greed. And most of us in this room could not go into the West End and stand on the street and reach out to those young folks. But what we can do is support those that do. And that's what the Violence Coalition, the Violent Reduction Coalition was all about, and that's how it started. And it started right at the same time as our peace studies started, right? Because people saw that, oh, when you really join together and you focus on peace in a certain area, a certain city, it does work. The crime does fall. And so that's why we joined the peace gang. Because think about it. If you have people all over the world at the same time join together, what happens? The violence does reduce. Now, is that going to happen overnight? No, but it does happen over time. And we know this to be the truth. And we have to have faith that it can happen. We have to truly believe and know. So it goes beyond believing. Faith is more than believing. Faith is knowing. We know that it is possible. We live that possibility. And that creates the effect that we want in the world. That is part of Unity's principles. What we think is what we create. You know, Jesus says from Matthew 17, 1 through 20, Jesus goes up with Peter, John, and James to the high mountain. What does that mean? That means they sit together in that conscious realm of spiritual dominion. They joined together to be one in thought. And when they got to the mountain, Jesus' inner light shone forth. And the voice of God tells the disciples to listen to Jesus, because what he has to say is important. And I'm paraphrasing this, so you all know. On a return, a man approaches and asks Jesus to heal his son. He says, I took him to the disciples, but it didn't work. And so Jesus heals the son. And later the disciples come back and say, why didn't it not work? Why could we not heal that son? And Jesus said, because of your unbelief. For truly I say to you, if there is faith in you, even as a grain of a mustard seed, you shall say to this mountain, move away from here, and it will move away, and nothing would prevail over you. When we truly have faith that coming together in prayer, in higher realm of consciousness, saves the world, it will happen. And we know, because everybody's heard of the 100th monkey, right? When 100 monkeys learn a new pattern, all the monkeys know the pattern, right? We're no different. When all humanity understands and learns that together in a higher realm of consciousness, we can change the world, it will happen. We know that. We've seen it scientifically proven time and time and time again, all around the world. This is not new. The belief comes from doing the work and being prepared to move beyond ourselves and applies to helping humanity. So what can we do? What can we do? We can visualize peace every day. You know, if you don't have time to play the game, there are other ways to be a part of this. Visualize peace every day in your meditation. See your actions Whatever your actions are that you decide to take, making a difference. Visualize your actions making a difference. Because that's what we're creating. That deeper belief becomes your reality. Create a personal story of why you play the peace game. You've heard us this last 7 weeks talk about why this is important to us. I've brought different people up at different times. Figure out why it's important to you. Why is world peace important to you? Why is peace in Louisville important to you? What's your story? Share the story with others. Invite others into conversations about ways that together you can create a difference. Whatever it is. Because it takes all the small differences from each of us individually to collectively change the consciousness, to transform it. We're not going to do it by ourselves, but we will do it together. And we all matter. So find people you trust. Ask them to play the peace game. You can still play Wednesdays, 12 o'clock, 12 to 2, online, go to peace.
Peace2030.org.
Yeah, peace2030.org. And you can sign up, you can still play. Befriend yourself in oneness. And you heard what I said. It starts with you. Befriend yourself in oneness. Do your own work every day. Create your life in a peaceful manner. It all starts with us. When your thoughts get into the chaos and the challenges, take a breath. Come back to peace. When you see someone struggling, especially with mental illness, reach out and just be a positive light. You may not be able to cure them, you may not be able to really help them, but you can hold them in prayer, you can hold them in consciousness, and allow them to see a different way. Create a space for wholeness for everybody. Faith is our growing edge. Really taking action into what we truly believe, what we teach, and I've always taught in unity. That prayer works, our actions matter, our thoughts are what create our reality. And there is only one presence and power in this universe, and that is God. Whatever name you call it, God, Allah, Spirit, Buddha, it doesn't matter. The Holy Spirit, whatever the name is, doesn't matter. The oneness of all that is what matters. And that is alive in each and every one of us. We are all a part of this world. And we all have the power to change it. I love you. I bless you. I behold the living Christ in each of you.
I hope I'll be able to segue into my song based on what the eloquence of what you said about the pursuit of peace, which is very important right now. The United States has been involved in Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Honduras, and we are a warring nation, and we've just sent a second task force into the Middle East, aircraft carriers. There are thousands of men and women that support that. I am a combat veteran of Vietnam. And I know that there's fewer than 1% of us left in this room. If you're a service, if you served in the military, thank you very much for your service. I appreciate it. I mentioned that I like to write songs that make people think. And in this particular song, it's called Promises That You Made. What happens on television in wars remotely doesn't really affect us two-dimensionally. We see these pictures and we're horrified by them, but we're blessed in that we don't have to experience that, except for the Civil War. Population has not been burdened with seeing that, although we stop at car crashes at a local. Why do we look? To see the fenders bent, to see the bodies inside. War is a terrible thing, and it impacts the people. And the message I want to convey in this song is that, and this may be important in the near future here, because we could see our boots on the ground in the Middle East. And when we commit our troops to harm's way, you're responsible. Every one of you is, individually, because you vote for the politicians who who make policy on how we fulfill our national mandate. And just remember that the people who do go in harm's way are real people, just like you, just like your neighbors. They love and bleed. And this song is about them. Just think about that when you make your decisions on what we do in the future. Sometimes war is necessary. There are bad people in this world. I know you did not feel the burning red-hot steel or hear my body hit the ground. I know you did not ask to help me do this task. You've no idea what's going down. For your promise of freedom, with my life I will pay. I'm already a memory who's fading away, and I pray those who love me when they hear I am lost will be consoled by your principle, frank and taught, and know the price of my passing was well worth the cost of inscribing my name on this newly made cross for the promises that you made. Remember me, I am the boy next door who climbed your apple tree. I am the girl next door who sat upon her daddy's knee. And just like a rainbow, all the colors will be. So don't ever disgrace us, or from your memory erase us, for we go to these places for thee. Remember me, I am the boy next door who climbed your apple tree. I am the girl next door who sat upon her daddy's knee. And always remember, if you think of me, I did what I had to. I put my trust in you. I gave all for the promises. And always remember, if you think of me, I did what I had to. I put my trust in you. I gave all for the promises you made. I gave all for the promises you made.
much, John. The songs were just beautiful. All of this makes us think each day. When we go back out into the world during the week, we'll have lots to think about. It's time to take your offering in your hand, and we'll say the blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And after the collection, we'll do the hope of compassion.
Take a moment to bless these offerings, the power within those baskets and the prayers behind them, the hope and compassion of all the people that we try to help in this community. We say thank you with great gratitude for everybody's generosity, everybody's prayers, and so it is.
Thank you, everyone. As Dave said, there's power and love in those baskets of giving that you just gave us. We're going to stand together and say the prayer for protection. And the chaplains will be down front to pray with you at the end of the service. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And now we'll join hands and sing the peace song.
Everybody uncomfortable if you're new. You don't have to join us if you don't want to.